All right. Hey, guys. So I get a lot of great questions in the Cold Crowd community. And if you're interested in checking that out, if you're not a member already, go ahead down to the description. I put the link to Cold Crowd. But I get these questions, and I think this is also a wonderful question. So subscribe to the channel, like the video if you want more of this kind of content. And just get that out of the way. So the question on this one is, what is the current state of outbound and cold email, cold outreach, LinkedIn outreach, even DMs and stuff like that, social media DMs. What's the current state of this? Where's it going? What does the future of outbound look like? Okay, I thought it was a really great question because I think it's on a lot of people's minds right now. It's a little bit of a kind of a crazy thing, like a big hurricane kind of hitting the industry. I think the recent 2020 to 2021 gap in time has been massive, right? Or 2020 to 2022. It's just massive. A lot has changed this year. And, it's just a different world. It's a different game, for cold email and LinkedIn and all this kind of outreach, strategies. So, number one, I think it's important to note that, intention, personalization, segmentation, niche specific things and targeting based on some kind of parameters or intent signals or something is becoming so important. All this kind of stuff, any kind of customization, personalization, triggers that you can find, I think are just extremely important right now. I think, the days of just building a big general list and just sending cold emails is starting to fade away. I think it's becoming, more clear that mass emails and bulk emails and spam type LinkedIn connection requests, which I know we've all gotten, we all still get to this day. It's just absolutely irritating and annoying. It doesn't provide any value, and we're all just like, this is terrible. And cold emails too. I get cold emails all the time that are just like, who wrote this, right? It's just terrible. I'm not even in their market, right? I'm not even a possible prospect. And that's the definition of spam, okay? That's the definition of spam. If you don't know that this person has some kind of interest, in what you're offering, then you, my friend, are spamming. So I think the line between spam and, outbound sales, proper outreach is kind of getting, again, it's a fine line, but it's getting bigger, and spam is spam and actual thoughtful outreach is actual thoughtful outreach. Okay. So yeah, number two, I guess I would say, so number one is just that personalization, segmentation, knowing your market and providing presenting a relevant offer to a relevant market is more important than ever. I think number two, the hard sales stuff the pitches that people used to do in cold email and LinkedIn and DMs are becoming less effective. Like sales pitches, that whole salesy thing is just becoming less and less and less and less effective. People can smell it a mile away. Like it's even if you don't think you're doing it, they might be able to smell it, right? It's just like there's these little points where just if you get salesy, they just delete the email. I think it's just becoming more pervasive that you have to really come in leading with value and not with a sales pitch, because the sales pitch will you have to imagine how many sales pitches these guys get in a day. They might be getting 50 emails a day that look like yours, that are just pitching something. Okay. So you have to realize that there's a lot of noise out there and you have to cut through it. Also, number three, I'll put it in that I think the offer is becoming the most important thing. I think even the message isn't really that, messages can be kind of fluid, right? In general, but the offer has to be strong. What you're offering, what you're bringing to the table has to match the market and be a relevant offer and be something interesting to the market, that actually excites them and makes them want to learn more. So offers are becoming more important than anything. There's a lot of people offering the same kind of cookie cutter thing to everybody. And I think that's it's making people numb, especially to marketing services and stuff. It's making it really, really difficult to kind of break through that noise of, the promises and the pitch that every marketing agency is doing, via cold email, via LinkedIn these days. Number four, I think personality is becoming more important. I think that, some humor, some personality, some level of cleverness, is becoming really, really important. I think being a little bit casual and a little bit jokey is not a bad thing going into this next era. I think that it's just, people are anything that's a pattern interrupt, anything that interrupts the normal pattern of reading emails, right, will stand out and make it interesting. So, I think that's becoming something that, we all should be considering. It's just, using a bit of humor, trying to be a little more personal and not so like, business sterile, because the fact is, no matter if you're selling into enterprise B2B or small businesses or whatever, at the end of the day you're selling to people, and people have senses of humor, people laugh, people enjoy movies and music and all these kinds of things, right? They're human beings, so you have to treat them like a human being, and stop coming at them like some kind of robot. Okay, so it's personalization to the next level. It's not even just personalized, it's like being funny and actually being clever in a message. Okay, getting their attention. Okay, so I think that's also like a big point, is that these sterile messages that are just totally 100% slick and business related are becoming also less effective. Number 5, I'll say that shorter messages are working better. I think that the days of like the long messages, it's over. I mean, people just don't really have the attention spans unless you're saying something really interesting that grabs their attention, that is just captivating all the way through, and you're using small paragraphs or something. But honestly, people are on their phones. They're just not going to read that much copy if they don't know who it's from or what it is. So what you should be trying to do as a goal is start a conversation. Not just like dropping a sales pitch, okay? Starting a conversation, understanding their needs, booking a call if necessary, yada, yada, kind of taking it to the next stages, one by one, rather than trying to skip straight to, the closed sale, which is what a lot of people try to do and sell in cold email. Let's put some actionable stuff in here. So, there's a lot of stuff also happening in Outbound that's very positive, okay? LinkedIn is putting big limits on connection requests, and they are starting to sort of paywall their platform more and more. And you may say, why is that good news? Well, it's making it so people just can't do that spammy stuff anymore in LinkedIn. Okay, so you can't send like 1,000 messages a day in LinkedIn. You hit blocks, you hit locks. If you're not getting good results, if you're spamming, it's like they just stop your account, right? So, yeah, so the noise on LinkedIn is actually getting less, and the people that actually put the time into personalizing, writing actually good messages, having good offers are going to be prospering a lot better in LinkedIn, because at the same time that they're limiting things, there's actually more engagement and interaction happening in LinkedIn. One major thing I wanted to zoom in on was LinkedIn events and LinkedIn courses. Okay, now these two, along with groups, which has been around for a while, but LinkedIn events specifically is very interesting. You can see the attendee list of any LinkedIn event. Okay, so this is a huge opportunity basically to go in and find topics where people are learning about certain things, and go ahead and reach out and give them more value. Go, hey, I know I also enjoyed that event. I have this thing that I think you'd love to watch. It's a webinar, it's a video, yada, yada. And then that'll lead into my next point here. But, you can target people based on what they're trying to learn. You can see that they're actually putting intention into like going out and trying to learn something about this, trying to research about this, right? Which shows that they're looking for some kind of solution or some kind of help. This is really big, okay? So LinkedIn and LinkedIn courses is the same. People taking courses on LinkedIn shows that they have an intention to learn. They have an intention to research and learn more and expand their skill set and stuff like this. So this may be the perfect opportunity for you to come in and educate even more, become that trusted advisor, that community on the other side. Like I've mentioned in a few videos, build a community out of this, and offer value, offer that 80% value, 20% asking or taking from your community. So, this is where you can begin that. Okay. And so there's some really good prospecting methods that show some intention, very specific intention based on the event and the course in LinkedIn that you can tap into. Okay. So that's number 1. And that's, also an intent signal. I would say that they're looking to learn, blah, 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 take these events, take these courses, webinars. That's very important. In my opinion, that shows that they could be a potential buyer at some point. But at the end of the day, they're just somebody looking for information, and you can help out and become that trusted advisor, right? The second step of that, which I kind of hinted at a second ago, is actually using events and actually using training and actually using education methods in your outreach is now something that I'm finding is probably the easiest way to get success with outbound right now. Days of the sales pitch, as I mentioned, are kind of over or waning at least, right? So like there's this other way to become the trusted advisor in this situation, and that's to use outbound to promote and get people into a video training or a webinar or something like this where you're actually giving value away, or a blog post or a podcast episode or something like that where you're kind of just showing, hey, you know, I thought you might be interested. Hey, we both love this event. I noticed. Thought I'd send you this over. I think it'd be helpful for you. Okay. So like, there you go. You just made an introduction. You showed them who you are. If they actually go and listen to the thing, which, you know, a percentage of them will, they're going to learn. They're going to get some more skills. They're going to be interested. If they're really into the content, they're going to be like your fan all of a sudden and know and kind of be pre-sold on listening to you as a trusted advisor. And at the end, they're going to get the soft sales pitch that you're going to put at that webinar or that video training, right? So they're going to know what you're offering. It almost pre-sells them. It does all this pre-selling and qualification process, in this video, in this webinar, in this, training, in this educational content. And then that next step becomes so much clearer for them if they want to book a meeting with you, if they want to, whatever, buy your course, buy your info product course, buy whatever you're doing at that moment, and of course buy services from your agency, because a lot of folks are learning these things because they want to outsource them and they don't really want to do them themselves, right? So you're giving them those tools, right? Like you're teaching, hey, you can outsource this to me. I'm an expert. This is how to do it. And go ahead and outsource this to me. It'll save you a ton of time, right? At the end. And you bring an offer to them. So, this is an awesome way to start doing outbound. And I think this is kind of the future of outbound is, using it in more of a relationship building, networking, capacity, and building kind of authority and that trusted advisor relationship with these folks before you jump on a sales call with them, right? So they're pre-framed and they're pre-sold and pre-qualified. So to me, this is like the big future of outbound in terms of like the call to action or the point of sending an outbound message. Okay. So cool. So, that's kind of my, overview here. So let's go ahead and, give you some actionable advice. So, number one, if you're spamming, if you're doing big, broad campaigns where you're just spamming a lot of people, cut it out. It's not going to work very well anymore, and I'm sure it's not working that well for you. Number two, personalization. You got things like Line, which I will put in the description, that does AI personalization of your emails and does the research for you on the prospects, so you stand out in the inbox. Using tools like this is great. Going one by one and doing actual research is great, but you got to put that extra effort into it no matter what. Number three, embrace your humanity a little bit and the reality and the truth of the situation, and create some comedy or some jokes or just some genuine kind of language to your niche, and try this out at least, right? Be a little more personal, be a little more vulnerable. Be a little silly if you want, whatever your natural tendency is. But, I think realize that people are humans and that they have senses of humor. They have families that they love, they laugh, they cry, they have all this range of emotions. And if you can make people laugh, generally speaking, they view you as more intelligent and more capable. So, keep that in mind, right? As you do your outreach. And number five, events, are a great place to prospect and find sort of a bit of intention in a marketplace, in a niche. I think if you have a skill or you're offering a service already and you're getting results, it's a no-brainer to create a bit of high-level training on kind of how you do what you do and how you do it differently, and teach and, make them problem-aware, make them solution-aware, teach them, all these different cool little tidbits that they might find useful. At the very low level, they'll become, they'll see you as a trusted advisor and ingest your content and be interested and kind of know you and, could become a champion in some situation. Best case scenario, they're like, wow, this guy really knows his stuff. I'm sold, man. Let me go ahead and book a call with this guy. And let's see if I can outsource to him, because I'm tired of doing this myself, or I'm trying to learn this so I can get rid of it, right? So yeah, you got that too. So I think, call to actions are changing. So, video webinars, training, master classes, whatever you want to call it, VSLs, video presentations, these kinds of educational blog posts, podcasts, these kinds of educational content, presentations are going to be so much more effective as a call to action rather than, can we jump on a 15-minute call so I can sell to you, right? Everyone's tired of it. They don't have 15 minutes. The other thing is starting a conversation. So if you're not going to do something like that, I think the only other route is to start a conversation. And that's, you need to ask a smart question, that ties in with the result you're offering. You need to, just kind of, you need to be inquisitive, show that you care about their business and that you're just trying to see if it's a good fit. You're kind of like looking out for, new clients. You can be more honest and just kind of like start a conversation. Hey, are you guys currently doing this? What do results currently look like for you guys from this channel? Would you be interested in, a quick audit or, some kind of free value I can give to you? These kinds of things are where everything's going. Okay. It's being more personal, being a bit more candid, being a bit more clever, and just, bringing a call to action that's actually educational and valuable, that enters them into your community, enters them into your email list, enters them into your social media flow, and begins to, educate them, pre-frame them on your offers, pre-sell them on you, make them like you and trust you, these kinds of things. It's a slightly longer term strategy in general for all this stuff, but again, it's quality over quantity. I think if you're just spamming and trying to get like a 0.1%, meeting booked rate, then, that channel isn't going to perform for you very long. So you need to find a way to, really make an impact and become trusted advisor for these people. The more you have trust and influence in your marketplace and you're an authority, the easier it is for you to get clients, to scale, to, do all the things that you want to do, make all the money that you want to make. Okay. So that was a bit long-winded, but I hope it gave you a bit of a plan for the future and a little bit of an insight into kind of what's happening with outbound and cold outreach these days. If you liked the video, go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment if you have any questions, any comments, any input, insights on this. You have a different point of view. I'd love to hear it. So, and if you want to request a video and you have another topic, man, I'm always here to do that. So thank you again for watching.